Vanessa Guillen. Have you heard of Vanessa?
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Oh, the army lady?
Yes,
So sad.
Vanessa,
Yeah.
So sad.
she was in the army. She had gone missing since April, and the family was pressuring Fort Hood in Texas, where the military base where she was, in order to look into it. They claimed that she was sexually harassed, and that they claimed that that something happened to her before she was able to fully report it. And so recently, or actually they didn't open an investigation until June. So since from April to June, there was nothing happening. And so finally, because of public outcry and the family and like the lawyer, like finally they opened an investigation and they found her remains shortly after.
Oh, man.
And so it turns out that she was bludgeoned to death
What's bludgeoned?
with a hammer.
Beat like
Specifically with a hammer?
No, anything blunt.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm saying with a hammer, but yeah, like blunt force trauma to the.
Could be a bat or whatever.
That's a shit way to go, dude.
Yeah, so she was
Fucking hammer.
bludgeoned to death with a hammer on base.
Whoa.
And then so she was taken out of it. This was by a fellow soldier named Aaron Robinson, a 20-year-old U.S. Army specialist.
Only 20, Jesus.
So she was also only 20.
She was only 20.
Yes, and so he bludgeoned her, killed her on base, and then put her in a box, and then took her out of base, and then hit up his girlfriend, Cecily,
What?
who is an estranged wife of someone else on the base. And so, but they're boyfriend, girlfriend, and then so she helped him dismember Vanessa's body.
That's fucking
The machete.
crazy.
Machete, and attempted to burn her remains twice, and then like the second time
That's wild.
and then they buried her in shallow graves in multiple areas, like spread out her body, and then
How do they even find her remains?
Dogs?
And how did they even know that he did it?
so because of the investigation, because Vanessa had texted him like during that time, like right before she disappeared. So once they began the investigation, I guess it just pointed to Aaron.
I see.
And then as the cops were closing in on him, he actually took his own life.
Oh, fuck.
He committed suicide, and so the girlfriend, Cecily, she is in custody, and she did confess and said that yes, Aaron killed her with a hammer, and that she helped him dispose of the body. And so this has sparked a huge movement on social media, where there's like the hashtag like I am Vanessa Guillen. And so that hashtag is where service women and veterans have expressed their frustration and their sorrow and like being there for Vanessa, and also like talking about their own sexual harassment experiences, because a lot of these women have said that they've faced like hostility within their chain, or they face like reprimands and like for even speaking out, reprimanding. And so they like this is just highlighting like the military's own like Me Too movement. So, and not just that, but the fact that like how poorly they handled, how they were kind of trying to like cover up Vanessa's disappearance. And then they're also the army said that there wasn't any like substantial evidence to confirm that Vanessa was sexually harassed. And so, but the family and the family's lawyer is like, no, like this happened to her. Like one time she was walked in on when she was taking a shower, and like just all these other things. And it's just, it's really tragic.
Oh, fuck. That's crazy. What,
I think I read somewhere that she saw a text message on his phone from that married woman, and that's like really, really bad in the military because adultery can derank you.
if you get caught for adultery?
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal because now you're on military law. So she was like, what the fuck? And then something about him like, I'm not gonna let you ruin my fucking career. And that's when he attacked her.
Oh, and that's why she was an accessory to the hiding of the body, because the married woman was helping. Wow.
I think that's what I read. Don't take my word for it. I think so.
It makes sense
I didn't
though.
read too much about this, but I did read that her superior officer, she's getting mad fucking heat because she was like she deserved it.
Yeah,
or
did you
some
read
crazy
that?
shit. That was
crazy.
nuts.
Yeah, she was like,
Superior officer tried to cover it up. Basically, there's a guy that tried to cover it up, and then
There was a lady.
No, there was this other woman. She basically, I think it was on Facebook. She left a comment saying like, you know, if you're in the military, you should just expect to have sexual harassment.
Whoa.
The fact that she was gonna report it, you know, she basically desered to get murdered.
like you should know what you're getting yourself
Shortly after
into.
that, obviously, she deleted her tweet. I mean, or her comment or whatever.
This is coming from a woman.
Yeah.
Hey,
a woman. Is she in the military?
we're,
She's a woman, an
were
older
there
lady.
Lady Marines when you went?
At my unit, there were a few. There were like maybe like one or two.
Do they have their own barracks and everything?
They do have to stay in a different place. And I think in the past, so I'm not trying to justify it or anything, but I think in the past, since there's so few females, I think not the unrealistic, but like almost like
Like the
it's a
economic.
shitty fucking situation that you expect females to join the fraternity type of feel. So I think it almost gave a lot of like people like this almost a right to sexual harassment. Because even as like an Asian in the military, at least in the Marine Corps, I'm the minority. So like outside in the world, I know there's BLM happening right now, and for sure it's dope that, you know, all these changes are happening. But in the military, I've felt racism from everyone. Black people, white people, Hispanic, whatever, right? And it's almost them telling me, you need to come and join our new brotherhood. And so I think like females probably had it even worse than that, because they're even fewer than that. And people that join the military are usually pretty like gung-ho, we're gonna go do this type of shit. And so I think like maybe she's from like that old school of thought where it's like comes with the territory to get sexually harassed, but it's
she felt like she had to justify it in order for her to survive in that
it's
industry.
unacceptable, you know. I've never witnessed it. That there's two Marines at my old unit. I've never witnessed any type of sexual harassment like that
You say there's two female.
in my old unit.
Oh, but you didn't see it happen.
Never seen it happen.
Because I know that the reason why things can get out of hand is because when they're hazing to see if you're tough enough, or they're basically brainwashing the soldier to lose their identity and then become a killer. That's basically what a military is. You're learning how to kill, right? They have to break down your old idea of identity. Now, this isn't justification. I know that this is a way that most militaries around the world, they do this to change the psychology of a human being. Because you have to be taught to kill. No one is born a killer, right? And then so they do these different things, and one of them is hazing and challenging your identity. But I think there's a really fucking toxic way where what ends up happening is you're extremely racist, you're extremely sexist, or it could even go into, I heard like people were getting gang raped and shit. So like, and people were just getting bullied, like beat up, like
that's
constantly fucked up, right? But at the same time, I'm like, is that the best way to build a warrior? Because I feel like there's other ways, but I'm not a warrior, so I don't know. Like, is going through abuse and PTSD the most healthiest way to create a contract killer? Or is there better ways, like in martial arts, you're essentially creating a gentleman killer, right? And you don't have to fucking rape your brother in order to make him tough. Like, that sounds to me like a toxic culture more than a real scientific way of creating a tough human being. So I think with the advent of psychology and everything, like, we should have a new approach to creating tough individuals. And I think that the way that we did it in the past, like this, where you like harass someone's race or sexuality or whatever, it's kind of fucked up.
I mean, if they're not going to put enough money to take care of veterans in the VA, what they're not going to put money into training people properly like that. It's just.
And I don't even know if there is a way to train people properly, because think about what the military is, right? So we you know, every single movie that we watch with the military, it has to be okayed by the military, and they'll let you use all the equipment and all that stuff. But if you want to do it independent, if you're painting the military in a bad light, they're not going to let you get any access to their buildings and all that. It's a huge fucking brainwashing thing going on. The cool ass commercials, guys fucking trapezing down and they're like, fucking work for this country, hell yeah, you know? Like, it's fucking dope. But think about what it's really used for, right? Drone strikes on fucking families in the Middle East. You're killing people, that's your job. And you're looking out for the assets and potential business opportunities for the leaders of this country. For example, the reason why we're in the Middle East, right? We go in there, We fucking bomb this land. We take over the real estate. Now Cheney comes in with Halliburton. He has contracting contracts. He could build structures there. We bring in our corporations. We make a ton of fucking money, right? And who has to kind of clean up that area, so we can go in and bulldoze it and build our own shit? It's the lives of American people, or all militaries of all countries. They have this lie like, oh, we're here to fucking protect people and we're doing it for this country because there's bad guys. It's like, we're the bad guy, or most aggressors are the bad guys. So I'm like, is there a healthy way to do this? I don't know, but it's almost necessary, because if we're not the bad guy, they're gonna be the bad guy. You mean like any power right now, China, Russia, whoever. Like, if we don't do it, they're gonna do it to us. And that's what fucking sucks.
Yeah, but I guess the conversation here mainly is how there's sexual assaults and how they can't be reported, or when they are reported, women are faced with like
Some bullshit like that.
backlash. Exactly. I mean, getting killed, like, that's insane. And so they were saying
Or
that
even like her superior saying
Right.
like that's normal. So imagine how many times she was reporting it and she was just brushing it.
Yeah, and if she thinks like death, well, they're close to death, so they think death is normal, killing is normal, right? But like, is she the type of person where if a subordinate comes up and says, I got raped by one of our soldiers or whatever, she's like, hey, that's life, homie? Like, is that what you want to hear from a leader?
Yeah, of course not. But they're saying that there were 6,236 sexual assaults recorded in the military in 2019, which is a 3% rise from 2018.
That's just what's reported too.
And that's only what's reported, exactly. There's so much more that's not being reported.
99% of hazing that I've seen has probably never been reported.
Yeah, there was this anonymous survey released last year that showed sexual assault in the military spiked nearly 40% from 2018. So they're just saying like there's a very serious issue here, especially with women in the military, and luckily now it's getting a light shined on it, or shined on it, whatever. It's not important. The point is that this is being talked about now, and hopefully there's going to be changes arising from this. Just to show you guys more photos. This is Vanessa.
Poor girl. And think about it, if they do that to our own, imagine what's happening
Exactly.
when we invade these countries, and the girls there can't report shit.
No, and then they were also saying like because Vanessa, she has her family's from Mexico. She's a firstborn American, or first generation, and so they were saying like other Latinos or Latinas that are in the military, they're like, you know, the burden is. It's really a tough position to be in, where you're in a military and you're fighting for a country that doesn't love you back. So it's just like they're not even being protected. So that's why a lot of people are, especially like this last 4th of July, they're very
Unpatriotic.
very unpatriotic and very like upset of the military. And the reason why I found out about Vanessa was because I posted like a 4th of July photo, and then someone was like, well, I'm not gonna celebrate a country that, you know, is hiding things and like doing this. And I was like, wait, what's happening? Because I really try to avoid the news until I have to prep for this show, because it's heavy these days. Like, it's just too much. But finding out about this, like, it broke my heart. It was just like, oh my god, how do they not protect one of their own? And
They said that her sister was actually on base at the time when the
gosh.
body was still there, because she was pretty much going there to demand to know what the fuck.
Damn.
wow.
And by then she was either getting killed, getting murdered, or her body was already still on base.
Yeah, and what sucks is that there's a massive list of whistleblowers coming out from military agencies, police, and they just don't get heard. Or like there's just a little bit, but then the media doesn't cover it. So there's actually some good people like that have a lot of honor. They don't want this to happen. They're in the military, they're in our different government agencies, but because they can't fight the system without the help of everyone watching this kind of shit, what ends up happening is like now it just seems like there's no one in the military that's backing girls like this up when there are. And there's like, you can see it, there's a Wikipedia list of just mad whistleblowers, court cases, and it's from everywhere, all different kind of like branches of government, business. There's so many great people out there doing it, but they're completely silenced, and the system's so fucked up because it just keeps going, because when good people stand up, they get shut down.
Exactly. So these were her killers, or her killer and the person that helped.
So that's the wife. And
This is the wife of like she's the estranged wife of someone else on base, and then this was the boyfriend who bludgeoned.
Now, is that a jumpsuit, or does she just match her hair for the picture?
Very fashionable.
She's like, I'm gonna get a fucking mugshot. Let me go bleach my hair for this.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully there's justice for Vanessa.
Any of the hashtags or the people who are tweeting with the hashtag in it?
Yeah, there's so many stories.
So many.
Military stories?
Yes. So many women.
Like half of them said that they couldn't even report it or something bad
Or
happened.
like they got stripped of their rank or whatever it is. Like they got reprimanded. It's just crazy.
I heard people be dying in training too, and then they just kind of blame them for not being strong enough.
I think there was multiple bodies found on Fort Hood. They found like 3 human remains of people. Yeah.
It's so crazy too, because I have, obviously friends in military, and like, some people just make it sound like it's camp, like they're just having fun with their friends, and then they get out, and then
everyone has a different experience, and different units have different cultures. So like my unit was called 3rd Anglico, and it's pretty much like a special operations capable unit. So pretty much all of my superiors were like straight badasses. And I think because they're real badasses, there was not like this macho feeling that you got there.
It's to prove yourself.
Yeah, like all of my superiors were like some of the most, like my commanding officers, like some of the nicest people I've ever met, and they're like skydiving, like scuba type of people, and they're just the nicest people. And they talk to me, and they're like 200 ranks above me, and they talk to me like I'm like their son or something.
That's nice.
Versus there's other units that I know that. There's like this really, I gotta prove how alpha I am, and then like, and the rank structure is like way different. So every unit has every unit within the military has its own culture too.